Got it. I don't feel like doing that right now. Hi, y'all. Welcome in, whoever comes in. I'm obsessed with this right now. I like that one. I like that. Welcome in. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. It's a great time for me to go and share this since there's nobody watching just yet. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Oh, thank you. Hey, y'all. Hey. Sorry, I was sharing my link and everything. Hey, y'all. Thank you. Did it today. Did it by myself. Hi. And okay, I've done that. And now we're here. I hope y'all are doing all right today. I hope y'all are having a great day. I'm having a great day because I feel very liberated. Finally have let go of the thing that was the most frustrating thing to let go. So I can't stop touching my head though. Like I know I should stop touching my head, but I can't stop touching my head because it's like, oh, it's really like not there anymore. I can't stop touching it, but yeah. Hey y'all. Hello. Hello, hello. It's so weird to look outside and see like the sun still out at 6 o'clock. I'm so used to it being like mad dark right now. I'm thankful that we're getting more sunlight now. I'm thankful the sun is coming back. I missed it. I missed it so much. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. I missed it so, so much. I missed the sun. So I'm glad that it's here. Yeah. Yeah. I can't stop touching it. It's so nice. We're reading The Mastery of Love today, y'all. We're reading The Mastery of Love. Um, Let me get something real quick. Ooh, didn't mean to show you all my business. I'm trying not to get up, being lazy. Hi, mommy. Hey, mommy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, friends. Thank you. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Oh, it's been 5 minutes, so I like to give it 5 minutes before I start. So, welcome to reading. Hello. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to Reading with Miss Taylor Said. I am Taylor, also known as Miss Taylor Said. I started this show on November 30th, 2020, in an effort to complete some of my goals. One of those goals being I actually want to finish the books that I have purchased over the years. I want to finish the books that I have purchased over the years. Thank you. Thank you. I want to finish the books that I've purchased or collected over the years. I've bought a lot of books and I've started a lot of books, but I have not actually completed them. So I want to do that. I want to complete the books that I have. Another goal that I have is to get more comfortable with reading aloud in front of an audience. One of the things that I want to do in my career is be a speaker. And when I become a speaker, I'm going to be reading speeches, reading off of teleprompters, reading off of cue cards and stuff like that. And I want to get more comfortable with reading in front of an audience, and not tripping up and actually making it sound the way it's supposed to sound and things like that. So I want to do that. And then my third goal is to just get more comfortable with public speaking and engaging with an audience. I used to do public speaking in college and I'm turning 30 this year, and I just want to get back to it because I miss the stage and I miss talking and I miss public speaking. It's really a joy of mine. So I am thankful for you guys being here. Welcome to Reading with Miss Taylor Said. We just finished the Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And now we're going to be starting The Mastery of Love. We are starting a new book today. We love starting new books. We are starting a new book today. I'm very excited about that. Thank you all for all of y'all that are here. Thank you all for being here. Um, so this book, it says a practical guide to the art of relationship, the mastery of love. So I'm gonna go ahead and dive right in, and yeah, let's see what he has to say about love. Um, okay, I want to read his dedication because it's very nice. To my parents, my children, my siblings, and the rest of my family, with whom I am bonded not only by love, but by our blood and ancestral roots. To my spiritual family, with whom I am bonded by our decision to create a family based on unconditional love, mutual respect, and the practice of the mastery of love. And to my human family, whose minds are fertile for the seeds of love contained in this book. May these seeds of love flourish in your life. So, it was a good choice to read that. All right. Some acknowledgments. All right. So starting again with the Toltec and the explanation of the Toltec. Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, so starting with the explanation of the Toltec. Thousands of years ago, the Toltec were known throughout southern Mexico as women and men of knowledge. Anthropologists have spoken of the Toltec as a nation or a race, but in fact, the Toltec were scientists and artists who formed a society to explore and conserve the spiritual knowledge and practices of the ancient ones. They came together as masters, naguals, and students of the Teotihuacan. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. The ancient city of pyramids outside Mexico City, known as the place where man becomes God. Over the millennia, the Naguals were forced to conceal the ancestral wisdom and maintain its existence in obscurity. European conquest, coupled with rampant misuse of personal power by a few of the apprentices, made it necessary to shield the knowledge from those who were not prepared to use it wisely or who might intentionally misuse it for personal gain. Fortunately, the esoteric Toltec knowledge was embodied and passed on through generations by different lineages. of naguals. Though it remained veiled in secrecy for hundreds of years, ancient prophecies foretold the coming of an age when it would be necessary to return the wisdom to the people. Now, Don Miguel Ruiz, a Nagual from the Eagle Knight lineage, has been guided to share with us the powerful teachings of the Toltec. Toltec knowledge arises from the same essential unity of truth as all the sacred esoteric traditions found around the world. Though it is not a religion, it honors all the spiritual masters who have taught on the earth. While it does embrace spirit, it is most accurately described as a way of life distinguished by the ready accessibility of happiness and love. A Toltec is an artist of love, an artist of the spirit, someone who is creating every moment, every second, the most beautiful art, the art of dreaming. Life is nothing but a dream. Life is nothing but a dream, and if we are artists, then we can create our life with love, and our dream becomes a masterpiece of art. Introduction. The Master. Once upon a time, not long ago, sorry. Once upon a time, a master was talking to a crowd of people, and his message was so wonderful that everyone felt touched by his words of love. In the crowd, there was a man who had listened to every word the master said. The man was very humble and he had a great heart. He was so touched by the master's words that he felt the need to invite the master to his home. When the master finished speaking, the man walked through the crowd, looked into the eyes of the master, and told him, I know you are very busy and everyone wants your attention. I know you hardly have time to even listen to my words, but my heart is so open and I feel so much love for you that I have the need to invite you to my home. I want to prepare the best meal for you. I don't expect you will accept, but I just had to let you know. The master looked into the man's eyes and with the most beautiful smile, he said, Prepare everything. I will be there. Then the master walked away. At these words, the joy of the man's heart was strong. He could hardly wait to serve the master and to express his love for him. This would be the most important day of his life. The master was going to be with him. He bought the best food and wine and found the most beautiful clothes to offer as a gift to the master. Then he ran home to prepare everything to receive the master. He cleaned his entire house, prepared the most wonderful meal, made the table look beautiful. His heart was full of joy because the master would soon be there. The man was waiting anxiously when someone knocked on the door. Eagerly he opened the door, but instead of the master, he found an old woman. She looked into his eyes and said, I am starving. Can you give me a piece of bread? The man was a little disappointed because it was not the master. He looked at the woman and said, Please come into my house. He sat her in the place he had prepared for the master and gave her the food he had made for the master. But he was anxious and could hardly wait for her to finish eating. The old woman was touched by by the generosity of this man. She thanked him and left. The man had barely finished preparing the table for the master again when someone knocked at the door. This time it was another stranger who had traveled across the desert. The stranger looked into the man's face and said, I am thirsty. Can you give me something to drink? The man was a little disappointed again because it was not the master. He invited the stranger into his home and sat him in the place he had prepared for the master. He served the wine he had intended to give to the master. When the stranger left, the man again prepared everything for the master. Someone knocked at the door again. When the man opened the door, there stood a child. The child looked up at the man and said, I am freezing. Can you give me a blanket to cover my body? The man was a little disappointed, but it was not The man was a little disappointed because it was not the master, but he looked into the eyes of the child and felt love in his heart. Quickly, he gathered the clothes he had intended to give the master, and he covered the child with the clothes. The child thanked him and left. The man prepared everything again for the master, and then he waited until it was very late. When he realized the master was not coming, he was disappointed. But right after he forgave the master, he said to himself, I knew I could not expect the master to come to this humble home. Ooh, ooh, sorry, y'all. Sorry. I knew I could not expect the master to come to this humble home. Although he said he would come, something more important must have taken him elsewhere. The master did not come, but at least he told me he would, and that is enough for my heart to be happy. Slowly, he put the food away. He put the wine away, and he went to bed. That night, he dreamed the master came to his home. The man was happy to see him, and he didn't know that he was dreaming. Master, you came. You kept your word. The master replied, Yes, I am here, but I was here before. I was hungry. You fulfilled my need for food. I was thirsty, and you gave me the wine. I was cold, and you covered me with clothes. Whatever you do for others, you do for me. The man woke up, his heart filled with happiness, because he understood what the master had taught him. The master loved him so much that he had sent 3 people to give him the greatest lesson. The master lives within everyone. When you give food to the one who is starving, when you give water to the one who is thirsty, when you cover the one who is cold, you give your love to the master. It's very important to give without wanting praise, because that is when you're giving your love to the master. You're giving your love to God. As Jesus could be, I mean, based on Christianity, like Jesus could be any person walking around here. And it's not your job to determine if somebody is worthy of a blessing. Just do it. If you can do it. Anyway, let's move on to the next section. I'm going to drink some water. Actually, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I did not give myself a clear leg path, y'all. So here we are, like this. I had to get my Red Bull because I can't be yawning too much. You know what I'm saying? I can't be yawning too much. Welcome in, welcome in. We are reading The Mastery of Love. So let's go ahead and go into this first chapter, official chapter, because those were the introductions and preludes and things. The wounded mind. The wounded mind. Perhaps you have never thought about it, but on one level or another, all of us are masters. We are masters because we have the power to create and to rule our own lives. Just as societies and religions around the world create incredible mythologies, we create our own. Our personal mythology is populated by heroes and villains, angels and demons, kings and commoners. We create an entire population in our mind, including multiple personalities for ourselves. Then we master the image we are going to use in certain circumstances. We become artists of pretending and projecting our images, and we master whatever we believe we are. When we meet other people, we classify them right away and assign them a role in our lives. We create an image for others according to what we believe they are. And we do the same thing with everyone and everything around us. Okay, that's what's up. Everything and everyone and everything around us. You have the power to create. You have the power to create. Your power is so strong. Excuse me. Your power is so strong that whatever you believe comes true. You create yourself, whatever you believe you are. You are the way you are because that is what you believe about yourself. Your whole reality, everything you believe is your creation. You have the same power as any other human in the world. The main difference between you and someone else, there is a tickle in my throat, and I'm not enjoying it. Excuse me. The main difference between you and someone else is how you apply your power, what you create with your power. You may be similar to others in many ways, but no one in the world lives her life the way you do. No one in the world lives her life the way you do. His life, her life, their life, the way you do. You have practiced all of your life to be what you are, and you do it so well that you master what you believe you are. You master your own personality, your own beliefs. You master every action, every reaction. You practice for years and years, and you achieve the level of mastery to be what you believe you are. Once you see that all of us are masters, we can see what kind of mastery we have. When we are children and we have a problem with someone, we get angry. For whatever reason, that anger pushes the problem away. We get the result we want. It happens a second time. We react with anger. And now we know if we get angry, we push the problem away. Then we practice and practice until we become masters of anger. In the same way, we become masters of jealousy, masters of sadness, masters of self rejection. All of our drama and suffering is by practice. We make an agreement with ourselves and we practice that agreement until it becomes a whole mastery. The way we think, the way we feel, and the way we act becomes so routine that we no longer need to put our attention on what we are doing. It is just by action reaction that we behave a certain way. To become masters of love, we have to practice love. The art of relationship is also a whole mastery, and the only way to reach mastery is with practice. To master a relationship is therefore about action. It is not about concepts or attaining knowledge. It is about action. Of course, to have action, we need to have some knowledge or at least a little more awareness of the way humans operate. I want you to imagine that you live on a planet where everyone has a skin disease. He talked about this the last time. He talked about this the last time. So for those of you that watched when we were reading that were here when we were reading the Four Agreements, a lot of this stuff is going to kind of sound similar because it's the same author, it's the same concepts, it's the same belief system that he's drawing from. So there are going to be things that make sense that are the same as what was said in the Four Agreements, but obviously there's going to be other stuff. So if you hear stuff that you've heard before, it's all right. We'll be fine. Okay. I want you to imagine that you live on a planet where everyone has a skin disease. For 2 or 3,000 years, the people on your planet have suffered the same disease. Their entire bodies are covered by wounds that are infected, and those wounds really hurt when you touch them. Oh my gosh. How embarrassing. Oh my gosh. Um, those wounds really hurt when you touch them. Of course, they believe this is a normal physiology of the skin. Even the medical books describe this disease as a normal condition. When the people are born, their skin is healthy, but around 3 or 4 years of age, the first wounds start to appear. By the time they are teenagers, there are wounds all over their body. Can you imagine how these people are going to treat each other? In order to relate with one another, they have to protect their wounds. They hardly ever touch each other's skin because it is too painful. If by accident you touch someone's skin, it's so painful that right away they get angry and touch your skin just to get even. So you touch my skin and my infections, now I'm going to touch your skin and your infections just because it hurts so much and I need to get even with you, you know? Still, the instinct to love is so strong that you pay a high price to have relationships with others. Well, imagine that a miracle occurs one day. A miracle occurs one day. You awake and your skin is completely healed. There are no wounds anymore, and it doesn't hurt to be touched. Healthy skin you can touch feels wonderful because the skin is made for perception. Can you imagine yourself with healthy skin in a world where everyone has a skin disease? You cannot touch others because it hurts them, and no one touches you because they make the assumption that it will hurt you. If you can imagine this, perhaps you can understand that someone from another planet who came to visit us would have a similar experience with humans. But it isn't our skin that's full of wounds. What the visitor would discover is that the human mind is sick with a disease called fear. Oh, excuse me, I needed a nap today, clearly. Just like the description of the infected skin, the emotional body is full of wounds, and these wounds are infected with emotional poison. The manifestation of the disease of fear is anger, hate, sadness, envy, and hypocrisy. The result of the disease is all of the emotions that make humans suffer. All humans are mentally sick with the same disease. We can even say that this world is a mental hospital. But this mental disease has been in this world for thousands of years, and the medical books, the psychiatric books, and the psychology books describe the disease as normal. They consider it normal, but I can tell you it is not normal. When the fear becomes too great, the reasoning mind starts to fail and can no longer take all those wounds with all that poison. In the psychology books, we call it a mental illness. We call it schizophrenia, paranoia, psychosis. But these diseases are created when the reasoning mind is so frightened and the wounds are so painful that it becomes better to break contact with the outside world. And that is, I'm not sure how true that is, but that's what he's saying. Humans live in continuous fear of being hurt, and this creates a big drama wherever you go. This is, I don't like this. I do not like all the yawning that I'm doing. It's not fun. It's not fun at all for me. I'm gonna try to get this together. I'm gonna try to get some energy going, you know? Gotta get some energy going. Okay. All right. Um yeah. Um Humans living in da 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 da. The way humans relate to each other. Okay, yeah. Humans live in continuous fear of being hurt, and this creates a big drama wherever we go. The way humans relate to each other is so emotionally painful that for no apparent reason we get angry, jealous, envious, sad. To even say I love you, to even say I love you can be frightening. But even if it's painful and fearful to have an emotional interaction, still we keep going. We enter a relationship, we get married, and we have children. In order to protect our emotional wounds, and because of our fear of being hurt, humans create something very sophisticated in the mind, a big denial system. In that denial system, we become the perfect liars. We lie so perfectly that we lie to ourselves and we even believe our own lies. We don't notice we are lying. And sometimes, even when we know we are lying, we justify the lie and excuse the lie to protect ourselves from the pain of the wounds. The denial system is like a wall of fog in front of our eyes that blinds us from seeing the truth. We wear a social mask. That's that's kind of funny now that we wear social masks now. We wear a social mask because it's too painful to see ourselves or let ourselves see us as we really are. And the denial system lets us pretend that everyone believes what we want them to believe about us. We put up these barriers for protection to keep other people away, but those barriers also keep us inside, restricting our freedom. Humans cover themselves and protect themselves, and when someone says, "You're pushing my buttons," you're pushing my buttons, it is not exactly true. What is true is that you are touching a wound, and in their mind, you are touching a wound in their mind, excuse me. You are touching a wound in their mind, and they react because it hurts. As I'm going through this, I'm editing pronouns and making pronouns they instead of he and she. So sometimes I might trip up because I'm making them they. So excuse me if I slow down a little bit. When you are aware that everyone around you has emotional wounds with emotional poison, you can easily understand the relationship of humans in what the Toltecs call the dream of hell. From the Toltec perspective, everything we believe about ourselves and everything we know about our world is a dream. If you look at any religious description of hell, it is the same as human society. the way we dream. Hell is a place of suffering, a place of fear, a place of war and violence, a place of judgment and no justice, a place of punishment that never ends. There are humans versus humans in a jungle of predators. Humans full of judgment, full of blame, full of guilt, full of emotional poison, evil, anger, hate, sadness, suffering. We create all these little demons in our mind because we have learned to dream hell in our own life. Each of us creates a personal dream for our own self, but the humans before us created a big outside dream, the dream of human society. The outside dream, or the dream of the planet, is the collective dream of billions of dreamers. The big dream includes all of the rules of society, its laws, its religions, its different cultures, and ways to be. All of this information stored inside our mind is like a thousand voices talking to us at once. The Toltecs call this the mitote. Y'all remember that from the Four Agreements, the mitote? The real us is pure love. We are life. We are life. The real us has nothing to do with the dream, but the mitote keeps us from seeing what we really are. When you see the dream from this perspective, and if you have the awareness of what you are, you see the nonsense behavior of humans and it becomes amusing. What what for everyone else is a big drama for you becomes a comedy. Okay? What is a big drama for everyone else for you becomes a comedy. When I tell y'all, I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm not sorry. That's what the whole point of the show is. When I tell y'all, like, when they stormed the Capitol, right? I understood how, like, I think black people as a whole kind of was like, bruh, really? I mean, we knew this was coming. But like for me, for me, um, I remember when the stuff at the Capitol happened and I laughed. I shouldn't have laughed because it's not a laughing matter. It's not actually a laughing matter. It's a very tragic, terrible thing that happened based on the rules of our society. It's a very terrible, tragic thing that happened. But like he said, like when you see the dream from this perspective, and if you have the awareness of what you are, you see the nonsense behavior of humans and it becomes amusing. So when they were storming the Capitol, I was laughing. I feel bad for like the people that were working in there, like AOC and all of them, like the senators, congresspeople, um the representatives, the employees that work in the Capitol. I felt terrible for them. Like that was terrible that they had to experience that. That was freaking awful. Like that was terrible. However, however, it was pretty darn. The actions of those people climbing up the walls, storming, running, and all that stuff, doing all that extra stuff, that was pretty funny. That was pretty funny because it's just like this is ridiculous. This y'all see this is ridiculous, right? Anyway, anyway, I'm gonna keep going. He said it was a comedy. You can see humans suffering over something that is not important, that is not even real, but we have no choice. My heat just came on, and I'm just gonna let that go because I'm cold. But we have no choice. We are born in this society. We grow up in this society, and we learn to be like everyone else, playing nonsense all the time, competing with mere nonsense. Imagine you could visit a planet where everyone has a different kind of emotional mind. The way they relate to each other is nothing in is the way they relate to each other is always in happiness, always in love, always in peace. Now imagine that one day you awake on this planet and you no longer have wounds in your emotional body. You are no longer afraid to be who you are. Whatever someone says about you, whatever they do, you don't take it personally and it doesn't hurt anymore. Amen. And it doesn't hurt anymore. You no longer need to protect yourself. You are not afraid to love, to share, to open your heart, but no one else is like you. How can you relate with people who are emotionally wounded, with sick and fear? Wait, sorry. who are emotionally wounded and sick with fear. Hey, sister. When a human is born, the emotional mind, the emotional body is completely healthy. Maybe around 3 or 4 years of age, the first wounds in the emotional body start to appear and get infected with emotional poison. But if you observe children who are 2 or 3 years old, if you see how they behave, they are playing all the time. You see them laughing all the time. Their imagination is so powerful, and the way they dream is an adventure of exploration. When something is wrong, they react and defend themselves. But then they just let go and turn their attention to the moment again, to play again, to explore and have fun again. They are living in the moment. They are not ashamed of the past. They are not worried about the future. Little children express what they feel and they are not afraid to love. The happiest moments in our lives are when we are playing just like children, when we are singing and dancing, when we are exploring and creating just for fun. It is wonderful when we believe like a child because this is the normal human mind. This is the normal human mind, the normal human tendency. As children, we are innocent and it is natural for us to express love. But what has happened to us? What's happened to us? What has happened to the whole world? What has happened is that when we are children, the adults already have the mental disease and they are highly contagious. How do they pass this disease to us? They hook our attention and they teach us to be like them. This is how they pass our disease. This is how we pass our disease to our children. And that is how our parents, our teachers, our older siblings, and the whole society of sick people infected us with that disease. They hooked our attention and put information into our mind through repetition. This is the way we learned. This is the way we program a human mind. The problem is the program, the information we have stored in our mind. By hooking the attention, we teach children a language, how to read, how to behave, how to dream. We domesticate humans the same way we domesticate a dog or any other animal, with punishment and reward. This is perfectly normal. What we call education is nothing but domestication of a human being, because we domesticate people like we domesticate animals. We are afraid to be punished, but later we are also afraid of not getting the reward, of not being good enough for mom and dad, sibling, or teacher. The need to be accepted is born. Before that, we don't care whether we are accepted or not. People's opinions are not important. They are not important because we just want to play and live in the present. The fear of not getting the reward becomes the fear of rejection. The fear of not being good enough for someone else is what makes us try to change, what makes us create an image. When we try to project that image according to what they want us to be, just to be accepted, just to have the award. Excuse me, then they we try to project that image according to what they want us to be, just to be accepted, just to have the reward. We learn to pretend to be what we are not, and we practice trying to be someone else just to be good enough for mom, for dad, for the teacher, for our religion, for whatever. We practice and we master how to be what we are not. Again, this is going over some stuff that was said in the last book, but yeah, yeah, yeah. Soon we forget who we really are and we start to live our images. We create not just one image, but many different images according to the different groups of people we associate with. We create an image at home, an image at school, and we grow up to create even more images. Baby, because when I tell you home Taylor was different than school Taylor, was different than church Taylor, was different than neighborhood Taylor, was different than sibling Taylor, was different than daughter Taylor, was different than friend Taylor. Listen, the many versions of Taylor have been many. And yeah, yeah. That's why I'm just, ain't no need for all that. We just got to be ourselves. And that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're working on here at Reading what Miss Taylor said. My face hurts from smiling so much. I'm very, very happy with this new development in my appearance. Um, anyway, I'm gonna keep going. Um, this is also true for a simple relationship between, okay, okay. It's gonna get real gendered here, and I'll adjust as I can, okay? It's gonna get real gendered, hetero, and I'll adjust as I can. This is also true for a simple relationship between a man and a woman. The woman has an outer image that she tries to project to others, but when she is alone, she has another image of herself. Yes. The man also has an outer image and an inner image, but by the time they are adults, the inner image and outer image are so different that they hardly match anymore. In the relationship between a man and a woman, there are four images at least. How can they really know each other? They don't. They don't. They can only try to understand the image, but there are more images to consider. When when a man meets a woman, he makes an image of her from his point of view, and the woman makes an image of the man from her point of view. Then he tries to make her fit the image he makes for her, and she tries to make him fit the image she makes for him. Now there are six images between them. Of course, they are lying to each other, even if they don't know they are lying. Their relationship is based on fear, it is based on lies. It is not based on the truth because they cannot see through all that fog. In the period when we are little children, there is no conflict with the images we pretend to be. Our images are not really challenged until we begin to interact with the outside world and no longer have our parents' protection. This is why being a teenager is particularly difficult. Even if we are prepared to support and defend our images, as soon as we try to project our images to the outside world, the world fights back. The outside world starts proving to us, not just privately, but publicly, that we are not what we pretend to be. Let's take the example of a teenage boy who pretends to be very intelligent. He goes to a debate at school, and in that debate, someone who is more intelligent and more prepared wins the debate and makes him look ridiculous in front of everyone. He will try to explain and excuse and justify his image in front of his peers. He will be so kind to everyone and will try to save his image in front of them, but he knows he is lying. Of course, he tries his best not to break in front of his peers, but as soon as he is alone and sees himself in the mirror, he goes and he breaks the mirror. He hates himself. He feels that he's so stupid and that he is the worst. There's a big discrepancy between the inner image and the image he tries to project to the outside world. The bigger the discrepancy, the more difficult the adaptation to the society dream, and the less love he will have for himself. Between the image he pretends to be and the inner image when he is alone are lies and more lies. Both images are completely out of touch with reality. They are false, but he doesn't see that. Maybe someone else can see that, but he is completely blind. His denial system tries to protect the wounds, but the wounds are real, and he is hurting because he is trying so hard to defend an image. When we are children, we learn that everyone's opinions are important and we rule our lives according to those opinions. A simple opinion from someone can put us deeper into hell. An opinion that's not even true. You look ugly. You are wrong. You are stupid. Opinions have a lot of power over the nonsense behavior of people who live in hell. That is why we need to hear that we are good, that we are doing well, that we are beautiful. How do I look? How was what I said? How am I doing? We need to hear the opinions of others because we are domesticated and we can be manipulated by those opinions. That is why we seek recognition from other people. We need emotional support from other people. We need to be accepted by the outside dream via other people. This is why teenagers drink alcohol, take drugs, or start smoking. It's just to be accepted by other people who have all of those opinions. It is just to be considered cool. So many humans are suffering because of all the false images we try to project. Humans pretend to be something very important, but at the same time, we believe we are nothing. We believe we are nothing. We work so hard to be someone in that society dream, to be recognized and approved by others, We try so hard to be important, to be a winner, to be powerful, to be rich, to be famous, to express our personal dream, and to impose our dream onto other people around us. Why? Because humans believe the dream is real and we take it very seriously. That's the end of the first chapter, and we still have like 15 minutes left. I don't want to. I don't want to start a new chapter. I don't want to start a new chapter. Definitely don't mind talking though. Um, yes, I cut my hair again. Yes, I did it. I did it on live earlier today. I cut my hair again. It feels very nice. I am enjoying it very much. Um, Actually, that's a great that this my hair is a great way to talk about this chapter. Because my hair has been one of those things that my hair has been one of those things that people really have strong opinions about. And I have made decisions over the years based on other people's strong opinions about my hair. I have been wanting to do this since I was maybe 20, 21. I've been wanting to do this since I was in my early 20s, maybe even a teenager. Like, especially when I saw Amber Rose, I was like, yes, give me that. Please, please give me that. Um, and I'm very thankful. It's such a good feeling. I'm very thankful that I grew up with one thing that my mom was always very adamant about was that I felt good in my hair. And um I used to get my hair cut by Jessica who Jessica used to cut my hair. She's no longer with us in the physical realm, but she was my person that would cut my hair when I was a kid. And my mom, like when I was a child, my hair would be real long. It'd be all down here. And then my mom would take me over. I would tell my mom, "Ugh, I'm ready to cut my hair again." And she's like, "Are you sure?" Like she would ask me a couple of times, "Are you sure? Do you want to cut your hair? You sure you want to cut your hair? Are you sure?" Okay. Just to be clear, sleep on it. Just to be clear, the next day, you sure you want to do this? Are you positive? Cool. Giving a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 year old just freedom to cut her hair, and my hair would be long, and I'd cut it off. I remember one time the only thing that she wouldn't let me get was bangs because I used to want bangs all the time, and she let me get it one time, but because my hair would be so poofy, she was just like, bangs, we don't do bangs. That bangs aren't good for you. I eventually learned how to do bangs, but it wasn't good at that time because I was a child. And the natural hair movement hadn't really been a thing yet, so everybody was slicking everything down at that time. Um, and I think I wanted to look like Mary Kay and Ashley. I think that's what that was. But she never stifled my expression of my hair. She encouraged me to color my hair, to cut my hair. She even humored me when I begged for a relaxer. And I've had two relaxers in my whole life. One was real lightweight and my hair was curly like the next week after I washed it. And then another time was right before I went to college and eventually I cut that hair off. But she's always supported me changing my hair. But as I got older and as I got into relationships and stuff, people I would be around, literally everyone else except for my mom was just like, no, don't cut your hair, please, please. Everybody else is much more emotionally attached to my hair than I am. But this was my dream. This was the true self that I wanted to be. This was the true me that I wanted to be when I was a kid. People feel so strongly about black women's hair from the time we're little girls. It's like a status symbol to have long hair. Yes, it is. And I definitely I get the attachment. I get the historical attachment to our hair. I get the historical attachment to our hair because it's like there was a time where we had like after slavery and stuff like that, especially down like in the deep like Louisiana and all of them places. where the French were. They really made it a big deal for people to cover their hairs, black women to cover their hair, because they didn't want their hair out. You know, our hair is so powerful. It's so powerful. Like we did things with it that we made maps in our hair. You know, we hid things in our hair. Our hair is so powerful and it's so important. It's so important to us, and it's so versatile. It's so versatile and so just it's powerful. However, with that power come a lot of attachments that people have and a lot of feelings that people have, whether it's people's projections of their own hatred of their own hair onto yours or vice versa, um or people that just it's just hair. We can do the hair thing, we can talk about hair forever, but for me, in my personal dream, it's it was so important for me. It's very important for me to be able to call the shots now, because I what he was saying about what he was saying about getting into relationships and everything is a lie. Everything is a lie because there's the image of self. Like there's your outer image and inner image that without anyone else being around that you create for yourself, right? There's the person you are when you're outside your house, and then the person you are when the door's closed, no one's looking, and can't nobody see or hear you, right? There's that self. And then when you go to date or whatever, or you go to, seek companionship or friendship or whatever with a person, there's the best foot forward. We always talk about putting your best foot forward. There's that best foot forward that we put, but that's just another image of ourselves that we create that's not real. And then when you can't keep that up because it's a lie, and your real self starts to peek out and emerge, it's like now you got all these images to keep up with. Now you have all these images to keep up with. And those are just for the people that are not, that genuinely just want to be in a relationship with another person and they're not cheating or they're not living multiple lives. And so I just, you know, you know, um it's those lies that we do, that version of ourselves to be the partner that we think we're supposed to be, instead of just being ourselves. And if that works with this other person, it's cool. If it don't, cool, you know um and my hair was one of those things. Like, I remember the first time I cut my own hair. It was in 2016. It was Halloween weekend 2016. My significant other at the time was in Vegas, and I remember it was so dramatic. My hair was down here, and I had came home from work, and I had worked a 13-hour shift, and I came home from work and I was so stressed that I went upstairs and I threw up. I was so stressed out from work that I threw up. Um and so I went to do my hair. My hair was pulled back into a ponytail, and all of the ponytail was just matted and needed to be detangled, but I didn't have the patience. I was so frustrated and my body was tired and weak, and I was just so frustrated that I just was like, fuck it, and I cut it, and I cut the ponytail off. It was 14 inches of ponytail, y'all. It was 14 inches of hair that I cut off, and I felt so happy. I felt so relieved. My hair grew back, and then in 2019 I cut it again. Like Carrie and Sex in the City. I put See, you're the third or fourth person that's mentioned Sex in the City to me this week, and so now I need to go watch it. I have HBO Max. I'm gonna go watch it. I'm actually just gonna watch it. Um, so I cut it again. I went and got it cut again, and then I left. Then I left my ex. And I cut it really short, and it had gotten really long again. Cut it really short, and then I cut it another time, which was last summer, and I got the opportunity to tell the girl that originally cut my hair, that getting my hair cut that day, like, it really true life changed my life because I shifted that day, and I like less than a month later after my haircut, a little over a month later after my haircut, I had moved out. And then I got my haircut again last year. um I don't remember when I got it cut last year. It was during the summertime though. It was during the summertime, and my hair was short, and it was in August, I think, because it was right before my spiritual awakening. Um, and now here we are, because I have no excuse to not be myself fully and authentically, and to the loudest extent. I have nothing stopping me. I have no one's opinions. I don't have anyone I need to be attractive for or anything like that. And I didn't have to do that in the beginning. I could have just did what I wanted, but I allowed what was happening in my relationships to dictate my behavior. When my behavior, it was midsummer. You're right. You're right. It was midsummer. um I allow people's actions to dictate my behavior, and now it's just like, or not their actions but their reactions to what I might look like. And you know what, I don't know, I was told that if I cut my hair short like I did during the summer, that I was going to look like Bruno Mars, and I did. I looked like a fine ass, Bruno Mars. I did. I was cuter though, you know. I was told that I wouldn't be like, I was told before, like when I first cut my hair only in a bob, it was like, oh, well, I got with you when you had long hair, and that's the only way I'm going to be attracted to you. Okay, now I don't have no hair, and I'm still fine. So, what was the issue? The issue was me. The issue was Taylor. The issue was I did not believe in myself, I didn't have my own confidence. I didn't have my own autonomy and stuff. Like, I didn't have my own feelings about myself up here. And so I let other people's reactions to my hair. And now, guess what? Ain't no hair. Ain't no hair, bit. Ain't no hair. You just got me. So now what? Do you like me for who I am? Are you cool with me for who I am? If you're not, it's fine. But do you like me? Do I like me? Am I happy with Taylor? I am really fucking happy. I'm really, really happy with me. Listen, it's some good times over here, y'all. It's some good times over here. I'm thankful for y'all being here. I'm thankful for y'all watching. I'm thankful for y'all's support, because we do live in a society, and positive reinforcement, it triggers some hormones in the brain. And so it's real nice to get. Um, live for you. Live for you. I was watching, there's this video right now that Netflix put out on YouTube, because the Netflix is funny or something like that. And it was Cat Williams. And he was, it's Cat. Cat gon' cat. But it was just like some of the stuff that he was saying, it's just like now it hits different. It hits a little bit different. It's just like, you messed up my self-esteem. It's called self-esteem. It's esteem of your motherfucking self. How can I mess up how you feel about you? How can I mess up how you feel about you? How could anyone mess up how I felt about myself? It's self-esteem. It's myself. And don't get me wrong, people have that influence. People have that power to influence your self-esteem. They really do, because of the position you allow them to have in your life. But it's self-esteem. It's esteem of your motherfucking self. You can't nobody mess up how you feel about you. Don't give them that power. They don't deserve it. Don't nobody in this world deserve the power to mess up how you feel about yourself. And I am not going to give anyone the power to make me feel bad about myself. I ain't got no hair. I do probably need to go to a barber so they can, get everything lined up the way it's supposed to and nice and even or whatever. But I don't got no hair no more. And it's not gonna make me feel bad. And there's nothing anyone can say to make me feel bad about myself. Because what? I'm still fine. Anyway, don't want to end the show on that, but it's been an hour. So y'all go out there and just continue to realize that the reason why we believe a lot of the things that we believe is because everyone is walking around wounded and needs healing, yourself included. There are wounds and we got to heal them. So we're going to keep going. We're going to keep working on healing our wounds together through the teachings of Don Miguel Ruiz and, a little additional stuff from Miss Taylor Said. I appreciate y'all being here. I appreciate y'all showing up like y'all do. I'll be back tomorrow, Monday through Thursday, 6 p.m. ish, Eastern Standard Time. I will be here tomorrow. I will see y'all tomorrow. I hope y'all have a lovely, 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 lovely night. Bye.